we thought that the cemetery had been vandalized, and it was not a good feeling at all.
When you say goodbye to a loved one, you expect them to rest in peace. But a Pitt Meadows woman is finding it hard to grieve after her mother's headstone was moved not once, but twice without her knowing.
It was hard. I miss her a lot. A lot.
Ellen Flores is still grieving. Her mother died 3 years ago unexpectedly, and now this headstone is the only permanent reminder of her presence.
You know, that's my place for her and I to kind of spend that time together. And I get to talk to her and, you know, just tell her what's going on with my life and what's happening.
But when she and her family went to visit her grave last Mother's Day, they got a big surprise. Her headstone had been removed and left to one side.
We thought, oh my gosh, the cemetery had been vandalized. And that was a horrible feeling, because that's literally what we thought had happened. We would have never thought for a second that it could have potentially been the cemetery staff.
And she wasn't the only one. Other headstones had also been removed. Ellen reached out to the city but got no response. Eventually, the mayor's office emailed her, apologising for the incident, saying it had been moved to make room for equipment used during a new burial. Ellen says it took 3 days for her mother's headstone to be put back in place. She decided to put the incident behind her, that is until 7 months later, on Christmas Day.
And I went to go see my mom Christmas morning, and I gave her flowers. And I saw that her headstone had been moved again. And I was devastated. I was devastated. I didn't understand why my mom?
Again, Ellen reached out to the city, but nothing. That is until the day we turned up at the cemetery. The mayor's office then emailed her saying, you can anticipate a written response from Mayor West within 5 to 10 business days. In a statement to City News, the City of Port Coquitlam acknowledged that staff were delayed in replacing the headstone in May. And as for the Christmas incident, they say, we are uncertain how the headstone was moved in December, as no work was undertaken by the city, but speculate it may have been wildlife related. Ellen's mother's headstone is now back in its place, but her daughter wonders for how long.
It's difficult coming into a cemetery and seeing a loved one. But to come in here not knowing if their headstone is going to be where it needs to be, and not knowing, it's tough.
In Port Coquitlam, Tom Walsh, City News.